Bitcoin blows past its previous high on one of its infamous Jericho candles, liquidating shorts and kicking the bearish narrative firmly in the face. You know, it's always really good to see smug LARPers on Twitter posting yesterday that, quote, you were mentally challenged if you bought Bitcoin above $10,000, now being oddly quiet on their feeds. Now, keep in mind, those are the same fake traders that were calling for new all-time highs just last week. Oh, how quickly the week fall by the wayside when the market starts doing its thing. Now, on the rumor that Google is partnering with Hedera Hashgraph, the FOMO has kicked in full effect with price surging 60%, market heated up. Let's go, guys. Breaking Bitcoin. Welcome to Breaking Bitcoin, recorded live Tuesday, February 11th, 2020. This is your daily source for market updates, sentiment, and news for traders. I hope everyone watching today on YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook, and of course on Roku is doing fantastic. Make sure to support the show by subscribing here on YouTube if you have not already and hitting the like button for the algorithm. If you have any questions, please drop them in the live chat. The moderators will direct my attention to them in the Q&A segment. We're going to cover a whole lot today. We're obviously going to break down Bitcoin's price. We're going to be covering Link, Hedera Hashgraph, the big movers of the day, and what the market says. Quick premium group updates. Last night, we've been talking about the bottom feeder indicator for a while. I've showcased it on the show. It is the newest algorithmic strategy that we have produced. It is completely finished. Last night, senior analyst Alex and myself finished all of the final UI code for it. And it was one of those things where the underlying code was fantastic. It could have been automated. It could have been traded manually, but I wanted to do more. I wanted to do more for you guys, and I wanted to do more for our members. So I took the time to really dig deep into V4 of Pine and put the best graphical user interface on it that I could, the best possible display, so that if you're trading it manually, you have the easiest time with it. And if you're trading it algorithmically, you kind of have the best guide to it as you're doing it. I will be publishing the user manual for that and the indicator itself by the end of February. Once that's all done and it's finished with the alpha testers who are currently working on it right now. Other updates to our indicator strategies and codes that will be published this month are going to be obviously the Quadrigo ATR line updates, the new version of that. We're going to be publishing the Minx upgrades, the bottom feeder, obviously indicator and strategy. And I feel like there's something else, of course, that I'm missing. Bottom feeder, Quadrigo ATR, and Minx updates coming this month. So, you know, doing the code is a lot of work, but I just want to bring that to you guys as well. Valentine's Day is this weekend. Make sure to grab somebody that you love and hold them closely. And in honor of one of my favorite holidays, I'm a big Valentine's Day fan. We are going to be having a sale on the premium trading group. For first-time subscribers, and then something a little special for recurring subscribers, current members right now. So look forward to that. We'll be posting the information on Twitter and on our socials. We'll also be covering it here on the stream as well. And we'll also be posting that for the premium members, as I said, slightly different for newcomers and something a little special for the current existing members. We'll be posting that in the premium announcements channel on Discord. So make sure you guys stay tuned to that. Now, I will not be here Friday. I am going to be taking a small Valentine's Day vacation, so I will not be here on Friday. Obviously, we don't do the show on Saturday or Sunday, but I will be taking 3 days off. This weekend, I will be back on Monday. So don't worry. We've got a lot planned for you guys. Got a lot of activities. The staff is going to take good care of you guys while I am gone. So with that being said, we've got a lot to cover. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the market because we've got a lot of exciting things to talk about today. Let's get going. All right, so here we are in the live scene, guys. As we do recently. So there we go. Yes, recently closed trades are hiding out behind the the chat panel there. Make sure you guys let me know. Make sure to let me know how you guys are doing. Sound off here. I see Don Camden. You want to go for a dinner, Don? Come on in, man. Come on in. We'll do it. Big Saints. I see Treese, Ron Legato, Bob Smith, Mr. Ether. He says moon, baby. Shit cat. He says, look at that ChainLink analysis. Crypto Mavic. It's hard. Ghost 7. Dubatot. Ebrius. Tammy with an I. HBAR setting the high bar for the day. Yes, I want to get right into that. Let's start off, though, as we always do with Bitcoin. Bitcoin putting in a nice Jericho candle off the bottom. And, you know, call it what you will. Some people are like, it's not a Jericho candle, Justin. You don't understand. See, a Jericho candle is a candle that, stop it, dude. We just started saying Jericho candle like not even 6 months ago, all right? Do you guys remember the original Jericho candle? This was like you never even heard the word Jericho candle until this candle over here, right? Until this candle over here, and maybe the follow through one over there, all right? It's just, you guys have read you guys know the stories, right? The horn, the walls, the I don't know, the stuff, right? Things happened. Okay, anyways. So nice reversal candle coming right off of the baseline. Those traders who are being aggressive with the baseline indicator here, looking for reversal baseline bounce, you guys are well rewarded. Let's take a look and see. You guys would have already put your trades in no loss situations had you done that, had you been aggressive last night. Now, I remained spot long on Bitcoin last night, meaning you guys know that hedging is a fundamental part of my strategy. So I am in a leveraged position to the long side now. For the majority of this movement, though, I just allowed my account equity to accrue. So based on this movement, just on this candle alone, my entire account is up 4% from when I went to bed last night, which is a good thing. Knowing when to be in and out of Bitcoin is absolutely vital and essential. It's a fundamental part of my strategy and allows me to know very well how to outperform the market. Because if I can't beat a buy and hold strategy, why trade? Why trade? And we do beat the buy and hold strategy every month so far. All right, couple years running though. So anyways, here we are. So let's look at the technicals on the daily. We'll break down the lower time frames, and I want to get into the other big movers of the day. We'll get into the other big movers of the day. So here on the daily time frame, let's flip quad ATR here, our stop and target system. We're going to actually take that off for just a little bit, but I want to come back to it. Volume on the daily looks quite healthy. Again, we had a big volume kind of. I don't want to say we had a massive sell-off yesterday. We had a significant correction yesterday. It was kind of the first significant correction we've seen in a couple of weeks so far in the Bitcoin daily market cycle. Obviously, price reaching a low last night. We are on the ByBit chart, but we did reach a low last night of 97.50. Again, still have my aggressive reentries down at 94.40, hoping for kind of that best case scenario, looking to buy the dip. But last night, I remember talking to some of the guys. I was being kind of joking, but I remember I was talking to some friends of mine and some members of the group, and they were like, we want to know when to, we're curious on when to reenter. And I'm like, well, this could possibly be the dip. Buy the dip. Obviously, that was a good decision. But again, the technicals here would have rewarded any of our traders who took an aggressive baseline bounce. We covered that strategy. And again, full disclosure, not a trade I personally took myself. I closed out my Bitcoin long, my original Bitcoin long, around 10,100 prior to the correction. And then I just held my spot long equity, my equity in Bitcoin over the night, and held the rest of my open positions. I have about 6 active Forex trades right now that are performing well. I have 3 or 4 active altcoin trades, which are performing well as well. And you guys can see closed results right there. MT Coiner, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. My brother, he says, I've been phone for a while. Glad to see you're still killing it. I know you meant done, but I love you, my friend. Thank you so much for the generous contribution, my brother. Hopefully you're doing well up there in the frosty mountains. All right. Rising Wadatar explosion level. Again, we have not lost the rising explosion level on Wadatar explosion. We are getting a coiling from time transformation. I'm always a little wary about that. Minx is still pointed to the downside, hasn't crossed back up. It's going to take probably another day to see if we get some follow through. But one thing I've noticed is that aggression pays off when Bitcoin is bullish. You're only going to be, gone. Right. I'm sorry. Not done, but gone. Right. I've been done for a while. I've been done with this market. Yeah, sorry, my brother. Aggression pays off when Bitcoin is bullish. All right, so we've got some decent signals on the 1 hour time frame, on the 4 hour time frame. Bob Smith's buy high, sell low. It's that simple, man. It's that simple. On the daily time frame, I think it's going to pay to be aggressive. We don't have continuation from the golden dot system. We did have continuation yesterday, so this is kind of a nice confluence. Again, I didn't take a leveraged entry on this, just held my equity long. But yesterday, according to the system, you could have taken a continuation trade. Yesterday's close gave a golden dot continuation signal in conjunction with a reversal baseline bounce. So aggression definitely would have paid off yesterday, and my hat is off to the traders who were being aggressive, as it pays to be when Bitcoin is macro bullish. Again, Bitcoin is unlike other assets when it appreciates, when it goes through its market cycles, and that it is not stair steps up, elevator down. It is elevator up. Maybe it's like escalator up, stair steps down. It's escalator up, stair steps down. But Bitcoin appreciates to the upside much more rapidly than appreciates to the downside. I mean, all you have to do is go back and look at a chart. I think that there is this misconception in Bitcoin's price analysis where people are just constantly petrified that it's just going to drop 50% because it's the only asset they've seen correct 80% in like 18 months, you know, to your time span period. But contrast that, go back to August of 2017 and see how rapidly we went from 3,000 to 20,000. Right? And do the exact same thing back in Q2 of 2019 and do the exact same thing here in Q1 of 2020. And you can see Bitcoin appreciates far more rapidly to the upside than it does to the downside. So, Don Camden was aggressive on Bitcoin at 19K, still seeing the psychiatrist. So there's a difference between being aggressive and not listening to an exit signal, right? Not listening to an exit signal. All right, my brother. I love you. You're getting much better, man. Don Camden, give yourself more credit, man. You've been in the group for a while and you're stacking those sats, man. You're gonna be a Bitcoin Billy here before long. All right. So anyways, baseline still holding bullish. We have not lost the macro bullish trend. We will not lose that until 95.86 right now at the current price moment. Let me make sure that I'm quoting you the right metrics. 95.86 is when we will lose the bearish macro trend. Are going to be bullish and unhedged above. Let me double check and make sure that I'm not incorrect here. Roughly 97.70 right now. Need to close below 97.70 before we start to look at potential hedging, before we start to look at potential retractments of leveraged long positions. Now, we are not getting a continuation signal on today's candle. However, if you are to be aggressive on re-entering into Bitcoin to the upside, considering this good follow through on breaking new highs with good volume, which I'm not against you doing, again, I think that it will pay off, then you're going to have an initial take profit target between 10,680 and 11,427. Hard stop loss at 9,748 with invalidation at 9,770. So pretty much your stop loss is going to be your invalidation, your early exit for this trade. Although it's possible to do get another early exit signal. Again, minks and time transformation are not yet in the overbought area. Keep in mind that often when time transformation gets into the overbought area on the Bitcoin daily time frame, we get an accelerating effect on Bitcoin's price where it just really takes off, right? And it can appreciate very rapidly. Again, those of you guys in the group, K7 Jixer says 60% of the time, it's done all the time. 60% of the time, it's the top every time. Anyways, so overall, I think price looks quite healthy in a leveraged position now to the upside. So we'll see how that one plays out. Took that on the 4-hour time frame. So let's go ahead and break down. Let's hop over to the weekly here real quick. We're gonna have to go to Bitstamp for that. So just keeping you guys up to date on the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame still looks very good, very healthy. I've been extremely consistent about this as we proceed. Got the initial trend flip back here on the 6th of January 2020. So we've been macro bullish all year long. That has not changed. Minx is nowhere near overbought. Time transformation is peeking its head into overbought territory. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to reach the end. Again, we reached overbought on time transformation back in March of 2019 because we were coming out of consolidation period. It's a little different now because volatility is more uniform over the last 4 months in Bitcoin's price activity, meaning that the indicators, the time transformation particularly, and therefore its overbought and oversold levels are better tuned to these current market conditions. So it's something we do want to keep our eye on. We could again see, as I talked about, a kind of a more pronounced weekly correction. But right now, I think that being aggressive to the upside will pay off because again, you're only going to be wrong typically one time. If you're trading with the right metrics, the right stop losses on the daily time frame and position sizing correctly, your losses are not going to cost you that much and it pays to be aggressive. So on the weekly time frame, we are still going to be macro bullish above 89.13. 89.13 weekly closes below there are going to invalidate our weekly bullish bias. No continuation entries so far in the current week. Again, we got the rising explosion level. This is what I'm excited about. We got the rising explosion level and the fully confirmed volume confirmation for a weekly long trade at last week's close. So it's only a 2-day old signal. So that's still valid in my opinion. That is going to be giving us targets of 11,375 to 13,465, meaning that I think that it is more likely overall that we do go up and retest the previous yearly high, the 2019 highs, right around the 13,000 area. Obviously, 2019, we did hit a little bit higher than that, stretching up just a little bit higher, but I think that's absolutely on the table. We do not get this weekly signal almost ever. We get it for the first time over here in 2019. In April, the April 8th weekly candle, we had 3 weeks of sideways and then a weekly continuation, which led to kind of the last resultant movement. And again, want to keep you guys in mind, typically with time transformation, we want to ignore the first sell signal, or at least we don't want to ignore it. We want to take some partial profits and let our position ride with a trailing stop, I think is the best way to do it, because as we see here, first initial sell signal, the reason for that I think is more pronounced. The reason why is because, as I said, we had it tuned. Obviously, the indicator is going to tune itself to the current market volatility, and then we get a big expansion, which we can see from Wada Atar explosion. The rising explosion level correlates to the expanding Bollinger Bands, which had contracted to really significant periods in Bitcoin's price activity, really significant periods. And when the Bollinger Bands contract, when volatility contracts, when we break to the outside or to the downside, we're going to get expansion. And typically that movement's going to keep going for quite a while. This is how volatility works. This is how markets move. This is how volume and volatility correlate to market expansion. So having said that, we do not get that rising explosion level on the weekly time frame on Bitcoin very often. I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm looking forward to seeing price at previous yearly highs within the next few months. All right. So if you're running a trailing stop loss on your weekly trade, which if you got in January, you might possibly should be, your trailing stop loss is pretty much going to be at 87.41, and you're not worrying too much, right? You're not worrying too much. You're just letting your trade ride. You had an entry around 8,000. Anywhere below 9,000, if your entry was anywhere below, if your entry was anywhere below 8,200, if your entry was really anywhere below 8,500, you should most likely be running your trade with a trailing stop at this point in time on the weekly time frame. And that's going to be your spot holdings of Bitcoin or your weekly leveraged position, whichever you're doing, whether you're running a 3x or a 5x, again, depends on your risk profile. And we're holding for targets much, much higher. Now, of course, we'll be managing daily trades a little bit more aggressively. Here we go. Let's go back over to the ByBit chart. ByBit chart, again, giving us a nice reversal baseline bounce and some nice follow through so far. So if you're assuming that this is a good, I need to switch this back over to the 60. There we go. So again, the aggressive entry last night worked, and I think if you're paying to be aggressive right now, that's fine. I didn't take the daily trade. Of course, the daily hasn't closed yet. It's not the daily trading time. I did, however, take the 4-hour signal. On the 4-hour time frame, we got the exit signal right down here at the bottom. We do have nice rising explosion level from Wada Atar explosion. Mink signal, unnatural volume on time transformation. Again, this is not going to be the kind of typical trade that I take, but this is good. This is a fully confirmed PTP signal on the 4-hour time frame. And what I've noticed with my experience in Bitcoin is that when Bitcoin puts in that big, strong candle close, breaking above previous highs, we tend to keep going. So I'm going to be aggressive on Bitcoin here. That usually pays off for me more often than it does not. So cheers to the aggressives right now. And Bitcoin just continuing to march itself up here on the hourly time frame. Again, nice, consistent marching up. I don't really care what anybody says. When Bitcoin typically puts in that pattern, what do we typically get following that? Just go back and look at the charts, guys. We typically get another big green candle to the upside. So I think price looks pretty good right now. Bitcoin looks very exciting. The altcoin market looks very exciting as well. Let's turn our eyes over to crypto bubbles. And of course, we would be bereft if we did not talk about the big performer of the day, Hedera Hashgraph. So I want to break this down for you guys. Obviously, coming off the news here from Google that they are working with Hedera Hashgraph to support the next generation of distributed ledger technology. This is Google Cloud. From everything that our research team has been able to pull up, this is confirmed. This is actual. This is real. This is not fake news. I know that there's a lot of FUD going out right now that says this is not fake news, but from everything my team was able to compile this morning, this is confirmed. This is real. This is from Google Cloud. This is the official Cloud Google website. They are working with Hedera Hashgraph. Here we go from Crypto Metrics and Signals over on Twitter. Google Cloud joins Hedera Hashgraph's governing council, prompting a token price jump. And then On-Chain FX tweeting the exact same thing over here. So a lot of FOMO. A lot of excitement coming into the market. Obviously, Hedera Hashgraph up about 63.4%. Let me give you guys just a little bit of advice from my experience in being in multiple parabolic kind of altcoin market cycles. Anytime something is up double digits, it's often not the best time to buy. However, being aggressive in an overall market cycle where things are appreciating rapidly does tend to pay off, but you have to manage your risk appropriately, right? We can see when these altcoins move up 100, 200, 300%, they can often correct very violently. And there will be multiple waves of profit taking. Again, we saw one yesterday. We saw a decent wave of profit taking yesterday where we saw a lot of the large majors and even some of the mid caps that have been pumping over the last week move to the upside. So let's go look at Hedera Hashgraph over here on Binance, the USDT pair. And again, very nice signal. Again, PTP caught this on the daily right over here. Multiple confirmed signals, never lost its bullish macro trend. Did put us in for a little bit of a continuation, and we are getting some unnatural volume with continuation now. So does this get massively sold into? Typically, we're always going to recommend that individuals buy the rumor, sell the news. So let's kind of zoom out a little bit more and look at a few more technical details on Hedera Hashgraph. Unfortunately, with something like Hedera, we don't have a whole lot of market data. So even if we were to apply volume profile analysis to this, which I am going to do right now, so even if we look at volume profile analysis, you can see that we tapped into kind of the previous high volume node area. There we go. Let's load up the volume profile visible range. As you guys can see, the majority of volume that was conducted, at least on the tether pairing for Hedera Hashgraph, was accumulation at the bottom. So I just want to put you in the mindset that the majority of volume transacted occurred down at the bottom. So we have a massive accumulation period that is occurring on we have a massive accumulation period that resulted here on HBAR, as we saw with a lot of our altcoins that are now appreciating, and most of them are up over 50%. All right, so again, just last week, I did add to my long-term holdings on altcoins. I am being aggressive on altcoins. I think that we can see much bigger movements on these. As far as technical levels for HBAR right here, we do have a few levels below us, but when we're dealing with altcoins, we have to understand that these things can unwind. So my point here is always with my point. My point here will be twofold. A, for those of you looking to establish long-term positional holdings in some of these altcoins, I think that you have to understand that you are essentially taking on the risk of a venture capitalist, which means the money that you invest into altcoins has the probability to do 5x, 10x, even more. Right? I am firmly in, I firmly believe that we will see much more pronounced alt seasons. Although I am somewhat of a Bitcoin maximalist, I have seen these market cycles happen time and time again. I always see the exact same psychological detritus coming out of individuals who have not done the work to understand and quantify their trading strategy, their investment strategy, who actually are just kind of faffing around and don't really know what they're doing, compared to our group and our professional traders who do know what they're doing. So I firmly do think that we can see much wilder appreciations on this. Technical levels, I don't have, we'll get into some technical levels here in just a second. But so there is a difference, right? For those of you, for individuals out there who are looking for, how do I put this? For individuals out there who are looking for venture capital returns, you have to take on venture capital risks, meaning that money that you invest into altcoins, you have to be willing to watch go to zero. You can do that with more nuance. Again, technical levels can help you decide when to buy and when to sell. However, typically it's going to be in your best interest to employ a buy and hold strategy. Again, as I talked about, the most important thing is knowing when to sell typically. When to buy can vary. And for my altcoin portfolio, as I said, just the other day, I created a vehicle. I put $30,000 into it. And when that value is 10x and it's $300,000, I don't care where the individual tokens are at. I'm going to sell that portfolio. That's what I want out of it. I have a very specific purpose with this investment vehicle, right? The specific investment vehicle is designed to pay for things that I want in life, okay? That money is going into my family. And if the $30,000 goes to zero, that's okay. I was willing to let that happen, right? Because I can afford to do that. Now, you can do that with $500. You can do that with $1,000. You can do that with $10,000. You can do that with $100,000. But whatever amount of money you do it with, you have to be prepared to take on the venture capital risk. Now, as far as trading goes, we're overblown. So as far as trading goes, if we go to PTP, we are getting continuation on the daily. If we go back and look at, Here we go. If we go back and look at the breaking Bitcoin indicator, now rules-based, we're going to be well above the qualifying line here. We're going to be well overheated. We're going to be breaking candle size violation rules here that we have with the baseline indicator. But again, aggressive continuation, we might be okay. So if you wanted to take something like this at very low risk, you do not want to kind of stand on the wrong side of FOMO here. And that's okay. Set a reasonable stop loss. If we look at what our metrics are going to be on the daily for something like this, let's see what the pullback looks like on the daily. If one were to take an entry right now, we'd be looking at having something of a stop loss around not 259 and looking for take profit targets between 345 and 414. Coming in from Hedera over here. But again, be safe out there, ladies and gentlemen. There are other coins that haven't appreciated. I don't think that it's wrong to want a piece of something like this that has the ability to appreciate much more. I had a great chance to sit down with two of the creators of Hedera Hashgraph at San Francisco Blockchain Week. I think it's a good project. That interview actually will be up here in our cryptocurrency segment here not too long. Other than you guys can check out our interviews with Silvio Macaulay of Algorand, Naomi Brockwell, and a bunch of other people. Actually, we talked to so many people at San Francisco Blockchain Week. All right, other big movers of the day. So obviously, kind of the narrative behind Hedera Hashgraph, this is kind of the exact same narrative that led to Link moving to the upside, if you guys will recall. Now, senior analyst Da Vinci actually has the premium group in a great Link BTC long right now at this point in time. Got us into that yesterday. So Link, what are we up today? Almost 10%. 10% from peak to trough, 8.54% now currently. So great trade. Senior analyst Da Vinci got us in the premium group into right here. And so again, we can kind of look for these. If you guys have been sleeping and looking at the appreciation of Link over time, I mean, Link's been on a wild ride. And if you guys will recall, we had the almost very similar kind of narrative emerge about Link. You know, it was this kind of partnership Google thing that led to Link's massive price appreciation on top of other things as well. Of course, 4chan over there holding Link down very strongly. The Link Marine strong in the house. So again, if you kind of look at what Link has been able to do over the last year, you can kind of look at Hedera Hashgraph and kind of expect something similar to that, in my opinion. Do not discount the power of FOMO in an alt season, ladies and gentlemen. And then we also have and then the other big mover of the day is going to be waves. Yeah, other big mover of the day is going to be waves. Again, it was so funny yesterday, man. It was so funny, going on Twitter and seeing people, seeing Twitter personalities that people respect, right? But comments. And, they're saying all the, they're just, man, if you bought Bitcoin above 10K, you're silly. That's the end, guys. Sell everything. And even some calling for shorts on platforms like FTX and BitMEX. And what are they today? They're smoked. They're smoked. Don't try to sell tops, guys. Don't try to sell tops, right? Get in the lower 25% quadrant of a trend. Allow yourself to take profit and lock in the loss, and then allow your trade to run as long as humanly possible. Squeeze the trend for all it is. If you want to be aggressive, you can re-enter on dips, right? Add to your position on dips, move your stop loss up. Always keep yourself in a no-loss situation. Apply risk reasonably and trade multiple assets and diversify your money around, right? There's so many, we're talking about assets that are up 60% more, okay? It's not difficult to make good returns in bullish alt seasons. The difference is psychological. And this is what we focus on in the group. This is what having a community, this is what having mentors, this is what having a system, this is what having a strategy will do for you. Because it will allow you to walk away from something like alt season 2018, from alt season 2017, from Bitcoin moon pump 2017, from market pump 2019, from market pump 2020, with profit when it's all settled. Like, the market does its market cycle. We move from low to high. The market corrects, starts faffing around a little bit. Okay. And you were able to sit on the sidelines and say, wow, that was great. Look at all this money that I made. I made a great return. I can now invest that money into other stuff or hold some long-term bags or whatever. Unfortunately, a lot of people come in and they're new to the market. They don't know how to trade very well. They make inappropriate decisions. They hold bags too long. They buy at the top. They sell at the bottom. They don't know how to manage risk. They don't know when to exit. They don't know when enough is enough, right? So listen, guys, always lock in profit. Always make sure that you walk away from the situation with a no loss, right? Because we're not going to go from, zero to a quadrillion market cap overnight, right? Talking about things that take years. And there's always going to be. Should I aspire to own one wave? Look, man. Look here, brother. In 10 years, one wave may be all you need. No, probably not really. One Bitcoin is good. Listen, guys, aspire to own one Bitcoin. Maybe aspire to own like 5 Ethereum. Maybe own like 10 Litecoin. Maybe buy like a couple hundred XRP. Because you never know, right? You never know. And then, with your we just talked about this the other night. A great way to do this, if you are uncomfortable with like investing in altcoins, right? So just trade, take on small risk positions, and then take a small portion of your profit and stick it in your ledger, right? Just sit on that. It's a good way to do this. All right, it's 12:34. We've got so much to go over, guys, today. Let me know, again, in the request section what you guys want to look at. I've got a lot to talk about in today's... I've got a story about you guys. I got a story for you guys, a personal story for me. How many of you guys checked your Ethereum or Ethereum wallet over the last few days and saw a strange deposit of 888,888 kick tokens? Did you? Well, we're going to break it all down today. Why you got that, what it means, and why it's a scam in today's episode of Crypto Currently. All right, so let me paint a picture for you. I have been making additions to my long-term holdings over the past few weeks based on weekly trends. And part of that process involves using, of course, my ledger. So yesterday, I plugged in my ledger to validate some withdrawals from Binance Dex. And what do I see? Let me see here. I guess I lost the picture. There we go. And what do I see but this screen? Not the one on the left, mind you, but the one on the right. All right, that booting 1%. I see this screen. Now, this is kind of, this is a little known inconvenience for the Ledger Nano S, but I've never heard of this with the Ledger Nano X, which is what I use nowadays. Sometimes, and this is silly because they say, when you plug your Ledger in without pressing the buttons first, it can force you into the bootloader. I've never plugged my Ledger in by pressing the buttons prior to this. So, this doesn't happen very often. I contacted Ledger support. They're like, yeah, man, we're sorry, dude. That happens super rarely, but it does happen sometimes. Your device is reset. Hopefully you backed up your seed phrase. Of course I did. I have a crypto tag, right? If you guys want a crypto tag, make sure to go check out my video. So all I had to do was re-put my seed phrase in. I had to reinstall my apps, but cool. Everything's fine. Slight pain in the butt. But the thing is, this booting process can take anywhere from 6 to 10 hours. So let me give you guys a piece of advice if this ever happens to you. I don't know what kind of phone you guys have. I have a Google Pixel XL4. Get yourself the highest amp that won't fry your phone, the highest amp phone charger that you can, and plug your Ledger into that, because the more amps that your charger has, the faster that it'll go through the bootloading process. Okay, don't get that crappy Samsung 0.5 amp output. Right, go get yourself a nice 3 amp iPhone output. Okay, now. The fix for this is simple and frustrating. Plug that baby in, let it finish its process. It takes about 10 hours, then you're good to go. Now, unfortunately, this often happens with Windows 8.1 users, which is pretty rare nowadays. I mean, come on, who uses Windows 8? But clearly, this isn't the only time that it can happen, as it happened to me, and I use Windows 10 as well as Linux Mint, among other things. So, in the altcoin cycle, guys, if you're ever feeling twitchy about selling your long-term holdings on a new yearly high, maybe just plug your Ledger in a few times without pressing the buttons and hope you get a 10-hour lockout like I did. So, I'm kind of waiting for this process to work itself out last night. It only took 6 hours, by the way, for the Ledger Nano S, But I happened to go check Etherscan for one of my Ethereum accounts to confirm that some holochain that I recently got off Binance got there. And as I'm checking my balance, and what should my eyes see in my ERC20 tokens? Well, we see 800. Let's actually go over to CoinMarketCap over here. 888,888 kick tokens. Never heard of kick token. Let's do some research. So I head over to CoinMarketCap. I type in kick. I click the token name to learn more. And what do I see? This is what I saw yesterday. So let's kind of zoom in on this. This is what I saw yesterday. That we went from a 90 million market cap to a 580 million market cap just in a couple of days. So that's an all-time high. So the kick tokens in my wallet were worth about like $680 at the time that I first laid eyes on them. About 4 hours later, they were worth $450. So I type, go over to Google, not Google, but DuckDuckGo. I type kick token in, and this isn't it. Where's the website? That's KickRef. Hey, it's this one. Maybe I typed in airdrop. It's on here somewhere. Trying to find the official website. Anyways, we'll hold with the Reddit right now. But anyways, I found this website that talked about some flashy website about how some lucky Ethereum holders will get a token drop. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. What market does this thing trade on? So, back to CoinMarketCap. Market pairs by adjusted volume. KuCoin. Okay, I got one of those. Wait. I haven't logged into KuCoin in ages. Hold on, let me check. Pull up on my phone. Google Authenticator. Okay, good. It's still on there. All right, good. We good. Let's do this. Log into KuCoin. Double check that there seems to be some liquidity to sell into. Okay, seems good. Okay, let's fire these kick tokens off and make an easy payday. I am taking my daughters out for ice cream sundaes tonight. Then I remember, a Ledger. It's booting. I'm locked out for 8 hours. I'm a savvy investor. Let's do some more research on this. So I head back to the website and I kind of look more into this lucky airdrop. And I read, quote, that they have a complicated algorithm that picks who will receive the airdrop based on such complicated metrics that we certainly can't tell you because our competitors would love to steal our formula. But it definitely has something to do with, have you transferred tokens in the last 30 days? How many popular ERC20 tokens do you have in your wallet? And what is your account size? Wait a second. That doesn't seem to make sense. Why would you airdrop based on other tokens? Not to mention, I'm kind of a security freak, so I split up my wallets into multiple addresses so that it's difficult, nigh on impossible, to compromise my funds in a worst case scenario in an attack. Now, I haven't done any transactions from this particular address in 4 months. Time to go to my favorite bastion of information, Reddit. Now, here's where the cookie started to crumble. It seems that they really airdropped these tokens on just about everyone. And the tokens are frozen. And the only way to unlock your tokens is to go to their website, complete their KYC process, and pay a fee of about $5. Also, not just a fee, it's actually $5 in trading commissions on their exchange, KickX. Now, combine this airdrop day with the fact that their market cap seems to have exploded from what can only be wash trading. I got a lot of messages last night as I was writing the story up about this kick token kind of scam, actually. Now, what's worse, other scams have popped up alleging to help you unfreeze your kick funds for a price, of course, which, of course, they cannot, because the unfreezing has to come from a central command and control system inside the kick ecosystem. Now, upon further investigation, I stumbled across this Medium article based on kick token market manipulation analysis because Kick jumped to rank 33 on CoinMarketCap with a 324 million market cap after being only 21 million a month ago. On the Kick ICO subreddit, there are dozens of posts from individuals complaining about the tokens being in their wallet, but more so, confused individuals asking how to sell it or get rid of it. Unfortunately, as I said, it seems you're only able to unfreeze your airdrop tokens by, as I said, going to their website, completing their KYC registration, and then using them on their KickX exchange. What's really concerning here is that thousands of individuals are being put in a position to tie their personal data and KYC identity to their funds, to their cryptocurrency assets, to a project that no one seems interested in, and are being coerced into injecting capital into their funding mechanism of this project. These are all the traits of a classic scam. Now, there was a Kick ICO that ran from August to September back in 2017, and it was sold to investors as a crypto ecosystem. Their white paper states, quote, let's see here. Yeah. Their white paper states, quote, that the Kick ecosystem is a complete fundraising and exchange ecosystem that raises token sales to a higher standard, driving them closer in sophistication and security to modern financial systems. So toward the end of 2017, very interesting that we get a nice ICO about more ICOs. Now, according to this Medium article, the ICO was rather unsuccessful and the token price gradually fell from 33 cents to less than 1/100,000th of a cent. The ICO holder page for this project also had maybe a scam concerning this project. Their GitHub has only 2 commits. The latest was 5 months ago. Now, this Medium article goes on to perform many of the metrics used kind of in the bombshell Bitwise the Bitwise asset management release that we received in late 2019, that 95% of volume on cryptocurrency exchanges is fake wash trading. So by analyzing distributions and deviations of price and volume, this individual does the exact same thing and comes to the conclusion that we can fairly readily determine that the unnatural market participation occurring on the Kick market, particularly is wash trading, particularly as they are centralized, although this volume is centralized, as I said, on lower liquidity platforms like KuCoin and others. Mercatox, SystemCoin, HitBTC, SystemCoin, XMO, CoinsBit. You have to realize that because the price has been bid up on these exchanges by a small amount of individuals, and that a large amount of the token has now been airdropped to people, that has caused the market cap to shoot up unnaturally. It's fake. It's not real volume. There's nothing behind it. There's no willing buyers on the other side of your sell order. Even if you had 1 million tokens, you couldn't short if you wanted to. What this whole process does is acts as free advertising for the Kick ecosystem. And they're preying on unsuspecting retail investors who will just notice a large increase in their balance on their wallet software. If you do a little digging and if you have a little market experience, you'll realize that it's actually a poison fruit. Now, a little bit more digging. Right here. A little bit more digging on Reddit here. And the other thing to consider is this: the Kick ecosystem seems to be looking for any opportunity to cash out if we consider where they are to where they've been. Now, most ICOs that went to zero simply did not recover. And it seems that a lot of the market activity that we've seen with Kick could be considered Kick affiliates being forced to re-enter the ecosystem now to cash out their holdings from their initial investment. Thus, the wash trading on exchanges like KuCoin. However, the platform itself, the project itself, has an incentive potentially to gather your KYC data. Keep in mind, just typing in your public data, your phone number, your name, your address, that's not the same. Like, that data, people are pretty trained to give out, even though they shouldn't. But that public information, anybody can get with a little bit of Googling. That's not the same as willingly relinquishing your KYC data and claiming ownership over asset, over not only exchange accounts, but also deposit addresses. You are basically proving ownership, because then people can start to link your personal identity to your blockchain activity. Not only that, but you're giving out your passport, your KYC data, a selfie, etc. Now, that stuff is much harder to get than your name, your phone number, and your address. And that can be used not only for fraud, but in this case, for identification. Now, if you agree that governments have a vested interest, or that institutions have a vested interest on building a database to tie identities to cryptocurrency wallet addresses and blockchain activity, anytime you willingly tie your personal identity to your address, you are becoming a target. Not only for scammers, but for government. If you want to hold unconfiscatable funds, it behooves us to consider who benefits from this scenario. Blockchain analytic firms like Chainalysis and others work for the highest bidder, whether that be government, corporations, or otherwise. They're in a competitive field to build the most comprehensive and intrusive blockchain information system available, and that includes tying personal identities to addresses. Now, for an ecosystem desperate to cash out, how much would Chainalysis have to offer a project like this for turning over your KYC data? Apply game theory to this. You think you can give up your KYC data to get something for free, but what are you really giving up? Your privacy. And who knows how important that will be in the years ahead of us. So in summary, the Kick airdrop is a massive scam. Just forget about it. Unfortunately, until it goes back to zero, as it inevitably will, it will conflate the value of your portfolio. Again, if you're looking on something like Ledger Live, just ignore it, as the only alternative is to send all of your tokens in Ethereum to a new address and burn the old one, essentially. Furthermore, you need to be very careful about what KYC you do, as it paints a picture of your blockchain activity and your financial wealth, information that will be stored in a database by firms like Chainalysis. And just like Equifax, Capital One, the Panama Papers, etc., it will be hacked and leaked, and it will get into the hands of people that you do not want having your passport, your driver's license, a selfie of you, or a snapshot of your financial wealth and blockchain activity. Take your privacy seriously, as it might be one of the last defenses left moving forward. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions and comments in the section down below. If you've been affected by this, if you saw that you had Kick airdropped into your Ethereum wallet, I'm sure many of you have. You just need to go check. And then come back to this article, come back to this episode. Let me know your thoughts and opinions and comments down below. Always happy to hear dissenting opinions, but this is my, after researching this for the last 12 hours, this is my opinion on this. We're going to take a quick break and hear from our friends. Actually, yeah, we're going to take a quick break and hear from our friends over at ByBit. When we come back, we're going to distribute some lemons to our loyal followers over there on DLive. And we are also going to do today's crypto comment giveaway sponsored by Spectre Security Coin. Thank you guys so much. Brief break. We'll be right back, guys. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the chat section. This is Jason when he first learned about Bitcoin margin trading on BitMEX.
Why? Why? Give it back! Give it back! Give it back!
This is Jason 6 months later after signing up for ByBit with the Cracking Crypotcurrency referral link found in the description below. Don't make the same mistake as Jason. Sign up today at bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. And we are back, guys. We are back. 12:52 and time for your question and answer segment. But before we do that, of course, I want to reward our loyal followers over here on DLive and obviously on YouTube, Twitch as well. Twitch, you're not being ignored, my friends. So let's distribute these lemons over here on DLive. Big winners for the day. Let's go. And while we're doing that, we're going to do today's crypto comment giveaway, sponsored by our good friends over at Spectre Security Coin. If you guys are in the cryptocurrency space, then you need to take security and privacy seriously, especially with what I just talked about with the Kick token scam. If you are unsure if you are following industry best practice on securing your passwords, on securing your addresses, on storing your keys, My friends over at Spectre Security Coin would be more than happy to make sure that you are up to date on best practices. It's very important, guys, if we're going to have a great market cycle, that you do it right this time. If you made any mistakes or if you're new to the market, definitely go check them out. Link in the description down below. Tell them Justin sent you. They'll take good care of you. And I want to thank them for sponsoring today's crypto comment giveaway, where we do give away cryptocurrency every single day, trying to help you guys out in the bull market. Yesterday's video had 15 comments. Let's randomly pick a winner. And it was Devin Salmon. Devin Salmon. He says, government-controlled digital currencies will be disastrous in Western nations. This will be the last tether of control the individual has. Just hand it over. Buy Bitcoin. Buy your Bitcoin. Thank you so much for your comment, my friend. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much for sharing your opinions. I agree with you as well. Get a hold of me in the Discord at JustinWise5696, and I will gladly tip you some crypto, my friend. All right, over here on DLive, we got... We got big winners from Squeaky Tadpole, Sanic Too Fast, and Big Saintsian. Ath1 jumping off the bridge, man. I'm sorry, brother. It is random to a degree. If I set the rules, my brother, you'd win every time. All right. Let's get back into the market. Check back in with Bitcoin. Just missed my first take profit. Just by a scotch. By a scotch. All right, let's go over to... Oh, sorry. There we go. Sorry, I messed that up real quick. I won't do it again, I'm sorry. Let's get into your guys' questions for the day. Shidcat says, oh yeah, let me get that ChainLink analysis, please. Let me go reference what... I'm referencing senior analyst Da Vinci's analysis on this. He's pointing out a ascending triangle here on the weekly time frame with our baseline indicator, which is one of our proprietary indicators, going bullish, flipping the trend to the upside, and also breaking above previous weekly closes as well. Weekly time frame, this does look quite healthy. Everything is aggressive. We are getting that rising explosion level again on the weekly time frame for the first time. We've gotten very good follow through on the weekly time frame from this before, from Watertar explosion, almost always followed by some significant follow through again, and teasing with previous highs as well, looking to break above them. So just referencing his analysis right here. He is referencing ascending triangle that we seem to be breaking above. In addition, with all of our momentum oscillators flipping to the upside and being painted in bullish territory. So we've got some pretty aggressive take profit targets on this one. Caprica asks, Justin and the team, do we use the same journal for your investing as you do for trading? I would have thought you would not need as much info for your investing journal. Great community and channel. Thanks. Well, the journal that we provide, the journal that we utilize and provide to our premium members does a lot of things. Like, you can put your fees in there. You can put your, cost basis in there. You can do a whole lot for it. So you can certainly use it. It was designed to be a fantastic tool. We also do provide the Blockfolio as well. That's in there as well. That's a little bit more, that was designed a little bit more for investing. So if you take a look at your premium tools you'll see that you have a block folio that we created, which you can use to really dial in on your cost basis for investments. I think that's going to really help when tax season comes, as well as evaluating what your actual ROI USD is. The trading journal, though, can be used for the same purpose. And honestly, it has some benefits because it was designed to give you a firm picture of how much money you actually make. So not only can it tell you, what the effect is on your capital, your entire equity. It'll let you know what your percent of equity was. It'll let you know what USD you made because it accounts for the Bitcoin USD correlation if you're trading an ALT to BTC pair. Of course, if you're trading a USDT pair, that's fine. You can do borrowing. It calculates margin. It does all the things that I have never seen another journal do. Huge shout out to our developer for creating that. Make sure that if you guys are using the journal, there is a tip address up there in the top right. Developer does some fantastic things for us. Want a huge shout out to him. He knows who he is. If I get the permission to say his name, I will, but I'll spare him the DMs for now. He does a fantastic job. We wouldn't be complete without him. We've got awesome people who work on the team, and just make sure you guys show him some love. Again, the tip address up there is in the top right. Goes to him, not to me. I use a combination of Ledger Live, Blockfolio to keep results, and my trading journal. My trading journal is there if I ever need to reference anything, right? My trading journal is there if I ever need to reference anything. I use Blockfolio on my phone. It always helps me do things. I keep, I keep a pretty concise Excel journal spreadsheet of all my purchases as well. Anything that's for long-term holdings, anything that's not just goes in my trading journal. And then when it's tax time, it's right now actually, that journal, as well as my CSVs for my exchanges, those go to my accountant. I don't have enough time to do that, man. I don't have enough time to do all that. I know what my cost basis is. I can estimate that very quickly, and I know what my tax burden is going to be roughly, right? So, whether it's going to be, whether my tax burden is going to be, 125,000 or 180,000, it's going to be roughly within a $30,000 range, and I'm okay with that, right? And then after I do my deductions and everything, it's fine. So let's see here. I would actually, because you might be paying more fees, especially if you're holding, because you might be calculating long-term capital gains. You don't probably need as much information. You just need your cost basis, buy-in, and when you sold. Obviously, if you're just going for like raw data. But for example, I'll be publishing this week, which is my portfolio A, which is the $30,000 portfolio that I purchased. And the way that I track it is I have my cost basis and then current net asset value of the portfolio, and then I'm calculating all that based off returns. So then again, once that metric hits 300,000, that portfolio gets sold. But thank you so much, my brother, for being a member of the community. Good people, good questions, man. MT Coiner Man, it was good to see you again. Thank you so much again for the $5 super chat. Monk, D Monk, what's going on, my friend? He says, can you give me some info on the discount coming up and if there's any way to pay other than PayPal? Wouldn't allow me to pay a few days ago. I don't have all the specifics yet. We're going to do something a little special for recurring members, and we're going to do a little something special for newcomers as well. It is going to be how we normally do things. The sale, I believe, is going to go live Friday morning. I believe it's going to go live at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. The guys are still putting the final work on it. We'll tweet about all of this. I think all the information is going to get tweeted on social at 8 a.m. So just got to be ready around 8 a.m. CST, because I think the first 10 people get a heftier discount. Then I think the sale will be open to everybody over the weekend, right? It'll end Monday morning. So you guys have ample time. It will be, everybody will be able to take part. If you're a current member and you want to add to your subscription, again, we always try to take care of you guys. So that will be available again all weekend long. If you're a new member, then you'll just go to the website and sign up. You can pay with cryptocurrency, you can pay with PayPal, you can do whatever you like. All the information's there on the website. You don't even need to have. I think you do need to have a PayPal account, but get a hold. Just send. If you're having issues with that, just email support@crackingcryptocurrency.com. Our support desk would be more than happy to help you out. That's what they're trained to do. They're trained to help with customer service. And then, I will know more tomorrow. We're having a meeting tonight to finalize the last details and have the graphics done. So I'll let you guys know tomorrow. Wayne Arndt wants to check out MoneyGram. XRP gram. Oh, man. Weekly time frame does not look healthy right now. We're kind of in a no trade situation. We're in the negative aspect. Let's actually flip, sorry. I know we're going to be negative anyways on the 30. Whoa. Come on, man. Oh, that did make a difference. It did make a difference. So, excuse me, actually flipping this over to the right metrics. On the weekly time frame, we do have somewhat of a bullish bias. So potentially we have somewhat bottomed out, but we don't have trade signals right now. So let's zoom in a little bit closer on this. Again, we're still below our continuations with the 60 period, breaking Bitcoin indicator. This was actually signaling for continuation shorts, but with the proper settings on here right now, again, earnings day, always exciting. Wait until tomorrow to trade. But we have no volume. Water Explosion is telling us not to do anything. Minx is listing lazily up to the zero line, potentially looking at giving us a weekly trend flip to the upside. I don't really see anything here yet. This is something that if we kind of start breaking to the upside here, getting closer to the $3 barrier, maybe we can see this thing run back up to 340, maybe 420. But right now, there's no confirmation on any kind of trades. Zooming down to the daily. Zooming down to the daily, I would be looking for opportunities to potentially take this to the upside, which we don't really have. We kind of had an opportunity right here. Nah, kind of right here. Yeah. I'd say we had a potential, I don't know if we won or not. That might have been a losing trade. Let's see here. Yeah, you know, what's funny is that we would have gone long on MoneyGram right here potentially, and we're back at break even right now. Couple, you know, day of profit, day of break even, day of drawdown, not hitting our stop loss, and now we're back at break even. And no exit signal quite yet. No exit signal quite yet. So we would kind of be holding on for that on the daily for that first take profit of around 268 from an entry right around 247. So daily doesn't look bad. You know, volume's not perfect. Volume's not great. Again, on the weekly, it does look weak, but on the weekly, we kind of did have that bullish bias. So I'd be looking to potentially be aggressive for trades to the upside. But keep, you know, just be cautious. It's earnings day. No reason to take a trade yet. Again, on the weekly time frame, it seems like we are attempting to form somewhat of a bottom. So let's see if we can establish that bottom well before we start getting really aggressive for trades to the upside. But I'd be biased on the daily here to the upside, and I'd potentially be looking for 268, maybe even $3. Eli back asking for Dash. Let's dash to the Dash, my brother. Dash on, you know, I've been looking at Dash on the daily here, and Dash is really contracting itself out in a long symmetrical consolidation formation right here. Again, we do have a kind of a bearish posture right now. No confirmation for a trade either way. The thing that is a little concerning is we are beginning to get rising explosion level with negative WADA volume confirmation, which could be indicating that we're going to see a breakdown of this area, especially because we are below. Unfortunately, we don't have confirmation for a trade right now. We flipped the confirmation signal to the upside, but the long-term trending indicator we're still bearish on. We are below the baseline. So we're going to need to see price above 0.014714 before we can be looking for a breakout of this long area. So the daily closing above 14714, look for continuation longs. Again, volume is really contracting right now. Volatility is really contracting. So we'll just be trading this. I won't be shorting this, obviously, if it breaks to the downside. I just won't be doing anything with it. But if it breaks to the upside, I think we can get some good appreciation on Dash here. Just waiting for confirmation. WX2 says, it is awesome that you investigated Kick and put this out, brother. Bravo. I filed a fraud report 2 days ago on this. Awesome, man. Thank you, brother. And then there's just a comment on here from my team that says, blue box territory. Shut up. Who put that on there? Let's see. I want to check back in with Mr. Bitcoin. See if I've got my face melted off yet. Still doing good. All right. With that being said, guys, it is 1:07. It is 1:07. Got a lot going on. Let's head to the outro, ladies and gentlemen. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin. I have been your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at CrackingCryptocurrency.com. I hope you guys go on to have a fantastic day, beautiful day in the markets again. Take advantage of this while you can. Get those gains while you can. Trade safely, trade responsibly, position size appropriately. There are tons of lessons on this YouTube channel. If you're new or if you've been around for a while and you're struggling, the lessons are here. And if you need further guidance, make sure to check out everything that we do at the group. The link is in the description down below, premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. If you guys enjoy the content, if you guys like the show that we do every single day, make sure to support us by following us. It's over here. I always forget. Make sure to follow us on our socials and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already. Hit the thumbs up button. Help us out with the YouTube algorithm. We highly appreciate that. We will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time to break down the market, to give our insights, to give our analysis, and try to give you guys the best possible counsel that we can on this emerging market. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, and or death threats, please leave them in the comment section down below. And I would like to thank our friends who have helped make this show possible. Obviously, the fantastic team. Thank you to Spectre Security Coin, ByBit, my entire team. You guys are absolutely fantastic, and I highly appreciate that. Woo! I think that's about it. Look forward to tonight's Breaking Bitcoin Bit coming out at 6 p.m. And we've got some fantastic content coming out for you over the weekend too while I'm gone. Don't forget, we are going to be having a sale on Premium Group Access starting this Friday. It will be running through the weekend, and I will be gone this weekend too. I won't be here Friday. So the last show will be Thursday, and I will see you guys back here on Monday. So trade safely, be excellent to one another, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.